Good morning. August the 1st, 2016. The last third of summer is in front of us, and in Wichita it is. The hot weather with high humidities has returned. Doesn't give it up at sundown either. So we're back where we were a couple of weeks ago. Had a nice little respite where I could actually cool down at night here for about the last week. So enjoyed that. The weekend was fairly quiet. Russia lost a helicopter in Syria. Zero Hedge carried an article, is war in the South China Sea inevitable? So the tensions around the globe still are what they are. They're not going away anytime soon. And that will put a floor probably on how much gold can sell. The markets, manufacturing PMI, did not see a number. Last was 51.3, could come in lower than forecast. The focus will be on ISM, manufacturing at 53.2, can come in lower than forecast if you can trust their numbers. They, in September of 2012, they joined the bandwagon with the government reporting agencies, the keepers of statistics, and fallen in lockstep after seeing what happened to the S&P 500 for daring to say that the United States credit rating wasn't AAA. I mean, all this stuff that goes on in our government these days, the coerciveness, the threat. I mean, that the chairman of the S&P 500 lost his job. They were fined for saying that. Every other rating agency saw what in the hell happened, and they backed away quickly. So the power of this government to coerce and whip people into line with their view is really infinite. They can go after you forever, and people recognize and know this. And people get out there and willingly sing the government's praises to keep them off their back. And Bill Gates and Warren Buffett are probably the two of the biggest ones that do that. To make sure that they don't get investigated and don't get trolled by the government. So these guys know how to keep people in line. So my point is, on ISM, it could come in higher than forecast. You never really know. But if recent economic news, hard news, is true, then that number should come in lower than forecast. Okay, resistance begins really right here at 28. So sell 1 is 28 to the buck. 3 to 7 for sell 2. On the buy side, supports at 24. So 20 to 21, 24 buy 1, let it go a little bit lower. Then 13 to 17 buy 2. Looking at the 30-year, we had 20. I had 28 to the buck as resistance for number 1. 3 to 7 looks like that's not going to be sell 1. And then 11 to 15 sell 2. A little bit tighter on the sell side. 16 to 20 was number 1 support. Looks like we're headed a little bit lower. So 9 to 13 buy 1. And 29 to 01 buy 2. Okay, gold's off a little bit overnight. I think 1350 is the number that it'll swing around right now. So 58 to 60, sell 1. It is a P inside the congestion area. 64, 66, sell 2. On the buy side, 50 to 52 for buy 1. And then 45, 47, buy 2. So try to buy 45s to 50s and selling 60 to 65. Looking at the euro, which Mario would like to see lower so they can export outside of the EU. Generally speaking, the go with markets, they usually retrace about 50% of the single print. So our first little band of support right here is going to be at 75. Right here is 54. The breakout came from 42. So that 1150 area right here for buy 2 looks like it's probably pretty good. May have to pay up a little bit if 50% holds. Would be selling 95 to 1205, sell 1, and then 15 to 25 for sell 2. Like the short side better. Okay, crude oil, you can't read anything positive about crude oil these days, so it's not on anybody's buy list. And as crude prices roll down, it affects other commodities too. So we think we're going for stops below 40. Maybe as early as today. We definitely have a B behind us, started in London. We also have pretty good support down here at 40, 50, 40, 75. And that's where support is, so that's buy 1. And stops below 40, 39.75, 40 for buy 2. On the sell side, 41.50, 41.75, sell 1. 42 even, 42 and a quarter, sell 2. And to the E-mini, which has made new contract highs. Goldman came out and said, sell everything over the next 3 months. Don't trust the stock market. And Goldman's calls are, Goldman usually takes the other side of everything. So what is Goldman doing? Trying to get everybody to dump their stocks so they can build a position and rally the market into November the 8th. Next 3 months gets us to the presidential election, so they're kind of saying that the presidential effect, government support for the market, Fed support for the market will be here at least until November the 8th. So the manipulation continues. Oh, here we are. I mean, the easiest trade to see is sell failure to take out 75, 78. I think it's been such a slow grind up, then our second sell would be 80 to 84. Market hasn't gone anywhere in a hurry. We've got all this volume down here in the 67 area, and we're at 71, so 65, 68, buy 1. And then 60, 62, buy 2. Focus will be ISM manufacturing, 53.2. Construction spending called up 0.6. That's kind of the default number. It always comes in lower. PMI market, manufacturing, 51.3 last. Based on the current economic statistics that we see, that you would think these numbers could come in lower than forecast, but like I said, ISM saw the writing on the wall after what happened to S&P 500, and they have become cheerleaders. I mean, you can lose your whole business if you, and that's why you see all these do not admit to anything but pay large fines. You can stay in business that way, and I think a lot of these large companies have figured out that the government shakedown is just a part of the cost of doing business these days. And when the government comes after you, they get something. They get a fine, they get a censure, they get a jail sentence. They never go away until they get that. That's how those people in those bureaucracies feather their caps, and that's how they progress. That's how they get promoted. Okay, it's going to take a bit to get everything up and posted. I'm going to get busy on that. I'll be back with you as soon as possible.